Yesterday, Nestle came out to say that the CEO, Laurent Freixe, is immediately dismissed. The background is that he had an undisclosed relationship with a subordinate, which he failed to disclose. So that's a no-go at the Swiss group, which is known for its conservative corporate culture. And what we learned through our reporting is that the concerns were first raised through an internal system called Speak Up. Nestle then chased these concerns and couldn't substantiate these claims. But the concerns continued, and then the board decided to launch a wider investigation, which also included external counsel, and that then ended up to confirm the allegations. So really a turmoil that's going on at Nestle. It's an extension of the turmoil because Freixe has only been there for a year. It's exactly on the day that he started his position last year, and now it's over. And he took over from Mark Schneider, who was the previous CEO, who was also ousted, surprisingly, but in his case over poor performance of the company. So Freixe was seen as a safe pair of hands, but now that's clear, that didn't really work out. So now we have a new CEO coming in, so the first CEO in just a little over 1 year, Philipp Navratil, which I can tell you a little bit more about.
Yeah, let's do that, because I mean, I'm just looking at the parade of CEOs coming in and leaving the company, and I imagine that investors are feeling pretty nervous about this situation. Do they want someone who is a lifer at the company, or do they want someone from the outside who can inject some new ideas into the company?
Yeah, so I would say the most reactions were quite shocked and surprised. The new guy who's coming in, Philipp Navratil, he has been at the company for 20 years, more than 20 years. So he's like Freixe, a company insider, which is generally seen as a positive thing. His focus was mainly on coffee in the past. So he rose through various ranks, led the coffee unit, and then turned out to be the CEO of the Nespresso unit since July last year. The Nespresso business is one of the most important businesses of Nestle. And now he will have to take up the challenges that Freixe was trying to fix, which is to focus on fewer but bigger product initiatives, to boost advertising spending, and also to divest of struggling businesses. So that includes certain vitamin brands like Nature's Bounty, and also the bottled waters unit, which Freixe spun out into a separate standalone unit. So he inherited quite a lot of restructurings, and we will see how that turns out, and if he will be able to turn around the Swiss group that has been struggling of late.
So what is the primary challenge for this company, Sonia?
Yeah, so it started under Mark Schneider, who, so in 2022, Nestle kind of peaked, and since then it struggled. And the background of that has a few reasons. So one of them is that Mark Schneider, he tried to bring Nestle into various new arrays, which some said might not have been the best choice. And then also we saw this bout of inflation after the pandemic. And that led many consumers to flock to cheaper off-brand items away from Nestle's branded products. And Nestle since had trouble to window shoppers back. Because Nestle raised the prices to deal with inflation, but some say this was a bit too much. And now we have the new situation with soaring commodity costs for coffee and cocoa. And Freixe has also hiked prices for various items that included those commodities. And so far we've seen that it hurt Nestle a bit, especially for the cocoa products. Coffee is a bit of a different story because consumers really like to stick to their habits. And so Nespresso and Nescafé was actually holding up pretty well compared to that.